Dear students, welcome to today's class. Today we'll be starting our first Power BI dashboard for the accounting, and here is the assignment that I have provided. Here are the details. So among the several learning experiences in today's dashboard that we'll be building, here are the key topics. I'll be introducing to the basics of Power BI, and again this is just on a high level. There will be a separate module that will explain the detail of Power BI as a part of theory. But yeah, I'll be starting with a brief introduction, then what is Power BI, then shortly I'll be giving you an overview of the data that will be used to create this first dashboard, and then lots of important key takeaways. And I really bet stay focused, stay tuned, put all your efforts. You will learn a lot, and after completion of this very first assignment, your knowledge, your expertise, your confidence, your that feel good factor about utilizing Power BI as a key analytical tool will be extremely high. So here are all the different key terms, topics you'll be covering as a part of this dashboard. Here is the data set. I will be talking about it shortly, but for you to download, please click on this arrow down. The data folder will be downloaded as a zip folder. Please unzip it. And shortly I'm recording this video. Even the link will be available within like an hour or two. And here is a brief theory. And like I said, this is just a high level theory about Power BI, and a separate module will be introduced after 2 or 3 weeks once we have better understanding of Power BI. Yeah, so that's coming. And yeah, the best part of today. So just to give you like an understanding, just calibrating your eyes, this is the actual final product you will be building. And again, the reason I'm calling this as a product, well, technically it's a dashboard, but in industry terms, wherever you get like any an internship or a full-time job, you will be given several projects, so several data sources. It will be your job to do a design. First, like on a paper, you have to do a design about what will be the components of the dashboard, and then you will be actually creating one. So again, ultimately it's a product that we will be building. Yeah, so each dashboard you will be creating is technically a full-fledged project in industry. So just to calibrate your eyes, this is the very first dashboard you will be building. It has several components. Again, this is the card we'll be learning shortly, and then this is the filter based on the region, and this is the the gauge chart, which is like half donut chart we'll be building. And then some more visualizations. This is the third visualization, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth. Yeah, so within this dashboard there are 9 different components, and this filtering also, well, they call it as a slicer. So yeah, we'll be having this slicer. So 9 different visuals and 9 slicers, sorry, and 1 slicer. So technically we will be building, and towards the end, in the last 4 to 5 minutes of my video, I have talked about how to publish it. Yeah, so you build this in your Power BI desktop version, but again, in future, if you want to refer, yeah, once you graduate, you might not have access to the same at uvu.edu's Power BI desktop. So how would you utilize? Yeah, so again, I'll be telling you how to publish it online, so that yeah, it will be in your SharePoint, and you can use this published version as well. So towards the end of this video, I'll shown you how to publish it as well. So overall, this is it. Something more is, yeah, so this is the actual, yeah, I mean, in the previous slide or here I showed you the snapshot, and here is the actual dashboard you'll be building. So yeah, it's a fun exercise. Now moving ahead with on the topic of data. Yeah, so again, this is one most important thing for you or any data professional or any industry professional to keep in mind is, before you initiate any analysis, before you start looking into the details of any process, any project, it's very important for you to look into the details and understand what you are looking at. Yeah, so in this case, you should be understanding the data. Yeah, like what is the data you are looking at, what are the different data sources you are using it, what are the different data files you will be having it, and if there are like if there is one data file or one data source or multiple data source or multiple data files, what is the content of each of that file, and which are the key columns or key like unique identifiers, unified identifiers you should be using to like clean, transform, and load into your Power BI desktop, and then that's the source you will be using to create your divisions. Yeah. So the very first step is understanding. And you will be hearing this word from me again and again multiple times throughout the semester, because you go and talk to any industry professional, or maybe in future I'll be inviting few industry professionals to give a talk either in this class or some other classes. I'll try to help invite you also. But again, from any industry professional, one common thing you will always hear is you have to understand the process. So in this case, we are emphasizing on understanding the data. Yeah. So coming back to this topic, so this is the data file you will be downloading from. Oops, sorry. Yeah, from this link that I provided. So as soon as you download here, this is what you'll be seeing, and you just unzip it, and this is the folder that will be unzipped. So let's check the content of this folder. So within this folder, I can see there are total 5 entities, 2 folders. First folder called as actuals, second folder called as new actuals. Then there are 3 files. One has, the very first is budget. It has an extension of CSV, which is a comma separated variable. So indirectly, this is a direct extract from a given or any company's accounting software, and that's why it's a CSV comma separated variable. The next file on a high level is dim underscore tables, and the extension is .xls. So this looks like it's an Excel file. And the third file, or I will say the fifth entity or the third file is forecast.csv. So looks like this is a forecasted file, again coming from some kind of data source, some kind of database. Again, it's the extension is CSV. Yeah, so that's on a high level. Let's see, check the content of actuals, the folder. Again, within this actual, looks like there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different files, and again all these are .csv. So looks like these are also extract from some accounting software of that company. So this actuals, and the next folder, new actuals. Looks like there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more files with same .csv extension. So yeah, we quickly browse through on a high level, quickly glance through and check what is the content of this data folder that we have. And now let's look into details of each file. Yeah, so the very first is budget.csv. I'm opening it, and when I open a CSV file, highly likely it will open it as an Excel file. But again, like there is a small difference. I will say no, not small. There is a major difference between a CSV file and Excel file. And as we go solve more and more assignments, I will tell you what those are. But as of now, just take believe whatever I'm saying, and trust my word that this is the file you are looking at. So when I open this budget.csv, again let's check the boundaries. Yeah, so again maybe I will, this is a standard way I follow. So I select all of this data, double click on here, so it kind of adjusts to the width of each column. And then the very first is I will select this very first row over here, row of 1, and go to this data tab over here and apply filters. Yeah, so once I apply those filters, I can see these buttons over here, active buttons. So the very first looks like the column is date, then the next one is IT department, next one is cost element, next one is country, and next one is budget. And within dates, looks like, these are all dates. When I make this button bigger, filter bigger, I can see looks like there is only 1 year of data, 2023, and all the 12 months are listed over here. That's a good news. So now I know there is data for 1 year and for all 12 months. I'll click OK. I won't go into too much detail. Next one is IT department. Yeah, so looks like there are multiple departments. All I can see in this on the face value is administration. When I make this button bigger, there are, looks like there are multiple, not only administration, but there are multiple: administration, architecture, business intelligence, core infrastructure, and looks like there are many. So this is good to know information. And the next one is my cost element. So let's make this bigger and see what they are. Again, on a face value, I can see employee performance, external labor, hardware maintenance, and internal labor. And when I make this button bigger, there are many more: administrative, amortization, capex, capital expenditure, depreciation, and so on. So looks like there are multiple cost elements which are usually fed within your accounting system, company's accounting or ERP system. The next one is country. On a quick glance, I can see USA and United Kingdom, and when I make this bigger, I can see there are multiple countries starting with Australia, Belgium, Brazil, Canada, and so on. And budget wise looks like these are numbers. Well, yeah, I think, yeah, and the good thing is it's always in an ascending manner. So the least is negative 427 222. I'm assuming these are dollars, and the highest is, wow, 2 point something million. So that's good to know. So yeah, these are my limits. Yeah, the next thing is I'll be checking the limits. I quickly browse through the data. Looks like I have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 columns. Now let's check the limits, top to bottom. So I'm selecting the very first cell A1, and on my keyboard I'm selecting Control Shift and down arrow. When I do that, the selections are done for the very first row, and I can see I have 105,000, 105,094. Sorry, it's 10,094 different rows. Yeah, so that's a good to know. So these are my limits. So column wise, I have 5 columns, and row wise, I have 10,594 columns. So that's good to know information. So by this, I complete my understanding the structure of the very first file, that is budget.csv data file. So I'm closing it. Well, I'll see don't save. I don't need to save. All the changes or edits I did was just for my understanding. So I will say don't save. It's a good habit not to touch or make any edits to your original files. Even if you do, no big deal in this case. But yeah, in the industry, maybe I try to avoid that. Then let's check the another CSV file before we go into the dim underscore tables. So let's check the next one, which is forecasted or forecast.csv. Double clicking it. Yeah, give it a few seconds. It will open. Awesome. It opened in my other screen. Awesome. So similar to the previous one, it looks like the structure is more or less the same. Yeah. So again, I will select all, double click on any one of this. It will auto adjust to the width of the cells or width of this. Yeah. Column over here. And then again, I will select the very first row and data. Go to this data tab, apply filter. And again, date, IT department, cost element, country, forecast is given. In the previous one, this was budget. Now it is forecast. And more or less the structure looks the same to me, and looks like the very first one is date. Let me make this bigger. Looks like again there is data for the year 2023, and looks like all 12 months are covered. That's good to know. Again, IT department looks like this is same as what we saw previously, but again it's important for me to glance through so that I know the content. I have looked into it, so whenever I am building my visualizations and dashboards, I know what I am trying to do. Yeah. So the next one is cost element. Looks like the same. Administrative, amortization, capex, depreciation, and so on. Looks like even these fields are same. Then country wise, yeah, looks like they are also the same. Austria, Belgium, Brazil, Canada, China, and USA. Awesome, looks the same. And this is forecast. So similar to the previous one, I think it's in it's in ascending order. Least is negative 1.368 million, and highest is positive 2.666 or 2.6665 million. So that's good to know. And yeah, we saw again like 5 columns, and let's check the boundaries. So I'm selecting cell A1, and on my keyboard I'm hitting Control Shift down button. And here also I have like close enough 11,028 number of rows. So that's good to know. Yeah, so I checked my boundaries. I checked all the headers for all the cells I have, columns. I checked the boundaries, so I have almost 11,000 data points in both the files, which is good to know. And again, the structure of both these files, which is forecast as well as the previous budget, is more or less the same. Not exactly the, I think the structure is the same, only there is one difference. So now I know a little bit more about these two files. Yeah, so closing it out, I'm not saving it. And then let's check the next file, that is dim underscore tables. I'm thinking this is more of a dimension tables and Excel file. So maybe this is manually created, or this is the structure that is fed in within your accounting software manually by the planning department. And again, as of now, this is your first assignment, so don't think too much. Just follow my instructions, and just try to get a habit of doing the same thing. What I'm doing is, whenever you see a set of data, first glance through, see what are the different data files you have. Second is open each file and understand the structure of each of those files. So now the third file, dim underscore table. So in here, I think there are 3 different tables in the same sheet. So there is one sheet, dim tables, and within this looks like there are 3 different tables. This is the first table, this is the second table, and this is the third table, and looks like each three tables have different kind of information. So for the first table, it starts with cost element group and business area. Second table is country and region. Yeah, so there are the listed number of countries and which region each of these country belong to. Yeah, so looks like there are limited number of regions and there are multiple countries. So yeah, Africa, Asia, Australia, New Zealand, Canada, Europe, Latin America, and USA are the regions, and yeah, these are the countries I have. And yeah, the next third table is IT department, IT area, and who are the department managers listed over here. So again, IT department wise, I think these are the same. Next one is IT areas. Yeah, there are limited IT areas. So these are like, I think, another group of IT departments. And again, a manager for each of these departments, the names are given over here. So yeah, looks like there are multiple names, multiple managers. And the first table is cost element. When I make this bigger, looks like there are several categories listed over here. Administrative, amortization, capex, similar to what we saw in the previous two files, that is the budget as well as forecast. And the next one is my cost element group. So looks like they are grouped further. Awesome, good to know. And then there is a business area listed, BU, a limited number. Yeah, so 3 number BU, which is maybe business unit, office and administrative, and R&D. Yeah, so this is good for me to know. So looks like this dim table has 3 subtables within it, which will be using it when we yeah, start with our Power BI. And again, I have discussed this topic again when we are loading the data as well. But yeah, for this, for the scope of this assignment, I think this information is good for these 3 files. So I'm closing this back again. Now, yeah, we check these 3 files. Now let's check the content of each of these 2 folders. The first one is actuals. Again, within actual, as we saw before, there are 6 different files. Each of them have a extension .csv, comma, separated variable. Usually these are extracts from some kind of system. And in this case, it's from accounting system. So yeah, trying to understand the way these are named. Yeah, so 202301, 202302, 202303, 040506. So it looks like this is the year for which there is some level of data or some data, and looks like for this year this is the month. Yeah, so it looks like January 2023 the data is here, February 2023 the data is over here, March 2023 the data is over here, April, May, June 2023 the data are here in the 3 files. Awesome. So that's another set of information I interpreted and trying to understand the structure of this data within this actuals folder. More details. Yeah, I'm clicking the first file. Awesome. Here is a file. And looks like, yeah, structure more or less the similar what we saw in the previous one, although there is some actuals country cost element. Yeah, I think this is a little bit different, but other I think the structure is the same what we saw for budget and forecast. So it starts with year date. So again, selecting this whole cell, data, filter, and yeah, date, IT department, cost element, country, actual. Looks like this is the actual spend for the month of yeah, January, I think. So when I make this bigger, looks like, yeah, awesome. So 1 year 2023 and only January is mentioned over here. And I think so this is similar. I did the different departments and cost elements and countries and the actual, I'm very sure this is the actual spend, or yeah, as per the budget. So yeah, good to know. We kind of studied, yeah, look the structure. So again, there are 5 columns over here. Let's see from top to bottom how much data points are there, meaning how many rows are there. Yeah, so control shift down. Awesome. Looks like there are 350 data points. Yeah, and if I ignore the very first, it's 349. So again, good to know. I check the boundaries. So from top to bottom 350 and horizontally there are 5. So this is another good to know information. I'm closing it out. Say don't save. Let's do the same thing for second file for the month of February. I am interpreting. File is open in my other screen, dragging it here. Looks like the structure is the same. Select all, apply data filter, go here. Yeah, looks like February date. I think this is the same, this is the same, this is the same, and actuals. Awesome. So now I'm kind of getting for the whole month of February, these are the actual, I will say, expenses by this part of IT department, and within IT department there is a cost structure. So these are the cost element for which this spend was made, and which country the spend was made. Yeah, so looks like these are the countries, respective countries where the spend was made. Okay, now I understand much better. And I think the structure for this 3, 4, 5 and 6 is the same. Let me check the last one. I just trying to skip the repetitive ones. So after understanding the first two, I'm looking into the sixth one. And if I see something drastically different, then it might be different, but no, I'm not seeing anything different. So selecting all of these and then applying the data filter for the very first. Again, looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, same number of cells or same number of columns. And yeah, date looks like, yeah, this is for the month of June. IT1, yeah, this looks the same. This looks the same. Country looks the same. Yeah, awesome. From top to bottom, let's see. This has awesome. Yeah, so this has like 900 different rows completed. Good to know. Maybe for the month of June, there were more actual expenses, and that's why there are more. Because I think the first two there were like around 300, 350 number of expenses versus in June there are 900. So this is good to know. And I'm sure for the other files that we kind of skipped, there might be varying number. It doesn't matter. Once we load the data, we will know the exact one. So as of now, we kind of study. So now we have better understanding of the files within this folder called as actuals. Now going one level back. Now let's see new actuals. Yeah. So, oh, awesome. So in my actuals, the last file has, you see, yeah, for the data for the month of June, I say 06, and for new actuals. Yeah. So it starts with 7 until 12. So maybe this is for the remaining part of the year. And if I open the very first file, which is also a .csv. Awesome. Yeah, this also looks the same structure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Again, the headers for all these 5 look the same. Date, IT department, cost element, country, actuals, and quickly browsing looks the same. Now let's check the vertical boundary. Awesome, 926, and yeah, this is the same actual expense for the 7th month, July, I guess. So yeah, I think even these files are the same, but maybe this is the next part. Yeah, the new actuals. Maybe there is an update over here. So this is good to know. Yeah. So technically, what we did here is we kind of yeah, downloaded the data files. Now we know that the data isn't accumulated, aggregated in a single file yet. So it will be our job to initiate our Power BI. The first Power BI is like we will be starting with the software, opening the software, loading this data, and yeah, then proceeding. Once we once we load it, we'll be understanding it, we'll be structuring it, we'll be cleaning it, cleansing it, then transforming it. And once we know the transformed data is correct, we'll be loading it into our Power BI, and that's where we'll be forming, checking the relationships, checking the tables, relationships, and if there is something incorrect, we'll be fixing those relationships, and then we'll be initiating our visualizations. Yeah, so that's the plan for the rest of this lecture. Getting started with the Power BI. Now, as discussed before, Power BI is a free visualization tool offered by Microsoft Corporation. It uses the same Power Query and Power Pivot tools that we have in Excel. So if you are familiar with these tools, and then you are off to do a head start using the Power Query using Power BI. Started with a blank report. This is the type of screen that you will be seeing once you click on the blank report, and here the Power Query tools are located in the home tab of your screen. This is where exactly it is. In case you are familiar, this is the part of the ribbon where you can get, transform and load the data within Power BI. Same tools exist within Excel as well. Just to give you some more information, I'm making this part, the get data part, bigger. And here are the various data sources listed, the commonly used data sources listed. To get a complete list, you can click on this more, and a window like this pops up that says get data. So here are the multiple data sources where you can get the data from. So that's one of a key strong point of Power BI, That is, you can get data from multiple sources within the same dashboard or a report that you are trying to create. The first one being Excel. First commonly being used Excel. Second one is text or CSV file. Then there is XML file, JSON file, a certain folder where you can load all these files and update, and as soon as the new information is available within that folder, your charts reports automatically gets updated. You can also upload using PDF, then some specialty programs like PowerQuest, SharePoint folder, SQL Server database, Access database, SQL Server analysis service database, Oracle database, IBM DB2 database, IBM Informix database beta, IBM Netessa, and MySQL, as well as multiple more. So you can just scroll around just to familiarize yourself and see these are the various ones available. For the most part, for all the assignments that we are going to solve, we will be primarily dealing with Excel as well as CSV. Yeah. So this is the key information that you all must know. Now, I know the files I'm trying to upload is an Excel file. So I'm going to click on Excel workbook. I can click this part, or I can go over here and click Excel workbook, connect. Window like this will pop up, and the file I'm looking at, the very first file, is the dim_tables. So I'm going to select it, say open. It will take few seconds to do the loading. You can see the connection is happening, and a navigator screen like this will appear. In this navigator screen, you can see Excel navigator has systematically outlined the three tables, which is cost elements, departments, regions, as well as the one sheet, that is dim tables sheet. In this case, I'm going to select the cost elements, departments, regions. So I'm going to select all three. And just for your understanding, this is the first time we are doing, so that's why, just for your understanding, to see the content of each of these table, I'll just select on it. So for example, if I select cost elements, it will give me a preview of cost elements. So all the content, so looks like in this table cost element, it has three columns. The first one with a header cost element group, and business area. Second one, it gives me a preview for the second one, which is departments. It has three columns again: IT department, IT areas, department manager. And the third table is the regions. It has two categories or two different columns, the first one being country and the region. In ideal case, if I wasn't sure if the data is correct or not, if it is ready to be loaded and to be utilized for analysis, I would go to transform data. But in this case, this being a simpler sheet, simpler table, I know my data is ready. So I'm just going to click load. It will take few seconds to do the loading. Awesome. Yeah, let's give it a few seconds. It's doing its job over here. And you can see in this data pane over here, some things are being updated. Looks like there were check marks, so the data is ready. Other way to look at it is, you see in the data pane, the three tables are already active, visible. So it tells me that these three tables and the data within is ready for building my pivot analysis or pivot charts, pivot table. Similar to the dim_table, the Excel data that we loaded. Let me go ahead and load the two more files, which is budget and forecast. I know these are CSV files, so I can click over here, or just to elaborate, I'll click more and click text/CSV and say connect. It will take me to the same folder. Let me go ahead and connect with the budget.csv file first. So I'm going to select that and say open. It will take few seconds to link and activate, and here you can see the navigator screen like this appears, and you can see the content of the entire budget.csv file is stated over here. On top of it, you can see the PowerBI has auto detected the origin, which says Western European, or you can select any one that you want. If it doesn't look right, for now I'm happy with what it is, so I'm going to click it the same. Second one is it identified the delimiter, which is comma. Or if it doesn't look right, if you want to transform it or change it, you can still do it, but I will keep it as it because I know this is correct for this case. So I'm going to keep it comma. The third is it identified the data detection based on the first 200 rows. And here are some more options. If you want to change, but in this case, I definitely know these are correct, so I'm not going to make any changes. And again, I can go ahead and transform, but in this case, since we're doing this for the first time, we try to keep things simple and straightforward. So I know this data type is correct, so I'm just going to load it. So click on load. So again, it takes few seconds to load. Yeah. So as soon as I did it, you can see in this data part of the pane over here, new table, that is budget, appeared over here. So that tells that there is one more table, budget, on top of the cost elements, department and regions, which is ready to build my the Power Visuals, Power Pivot visuals, or the visualizations. Similarly, let me go ahead and do it for the forecast as well. Yeah, so again, I know it's a text slash CSV file, it's a CSV file. So I'm going to click on the same and click on forecast.csv, then click on open, give it a few seconds, and a navigator window like this appears. Exactly same thing happened. So it identified the right origin and a delimiter, that is comma, and data type, that is the first 100 rows. And I know this looks good, so I'm not going to click on transform. Just let's go and load the data, and it will take few seconds to load it. And as soon as that happens, you can see a new tab of the data appears over here that says forecast. Next, we need to load the data from the actuals. For doing that, I know there is a separate folder in which all the actual files are there, and the files for each month are in a separate file over here. You can see 2023-01, that is January, 02 February, March, April, May and June. So I need to combine this data within your Power BI Power Query. So for that, I'm going to go to my Power BI desktop, click on get data, and then I'm going to click on more. And here I'm going to select folder, say connect. And when I do that, you can see a window like this pops up, which is asking me for the folder path. Here I can do two things. One is go to the actuals, right click over here and say copy address, or paste it over here. So the address is copied, or I can go to browse the actual folder over there and select the file path. But since I know here I have copied the path correctly, I'm going to control V over here and say OK. And it is doing its connection. Here you can see a quick preview of all the files within that folder. So 200301, 02, 03, 04, 05, 06. So all the files within this folder are listed and some metadata related to that file. Yeah. So this is what we did so far. Here I'm going to combine and transform the data. So click on it, please. A Power Query editor like this will appear. Well, hello, mic testing, mic testing, mic testing. Here I'm going to combine and transform data. Let's give it a few seconds and a window like this appears. The navigator window that is asking about some options about combining the files. So here you can see the file origin, it auto detected. Yeah, you can change it based on if it doesn't look right to you. Then delimiter is comma, data type is based on the first one row. In this case, I know it's right, so I'm going to continue. And again, it's all this is based on the first file. You can see there are options as well if you can change, but in this case the first file works very well. Here I'm going to click OK, and a Power Query editor like this will appear in a separate window. Oops, it's went back. Okay, here is the deal. So here I'm going to transform the data. Just going to check if something else is needed, and then once everything looks correct, I'm going to load it. Here you can see on the left hand side the list of queries that we have run through are automatically created, and on the top here are the helper queries that are automatically created by Power BI and the Power Query editor when we combine the different files. Now on the right hand side you can see the applied steps for each of the query that has been selected. So currently we have selected this actuals, and these are the list of steps that we did to create this query. So if I go from top to bottom, see cost element, these are the list of steps we did for a cost element. Regions similar, source, navigation, change type. Departments very similar, source, navigation, change type. Budget also the similar, yeah, source, promoted header, change type, forecast, source, promoted header, change type, and actuals where we combined. So first one is a source file. If I click on it, I can see the source files for each. Then filtered, these are auto created. So again, filtered hidden file, invoke custom function one, rename columns one, remove other column, expanded table one, change type, and currently here we are at. And it will show me the details of each of this applied step for that specific query that we have selected. So in our case is actual. So if I quickly look into the detail of this actual, I can see there are multiple rows over here. First one is the source name, date, IT department, cost element, country, actual, number. So again, if I quickly look at this, well, this is just a source name, which I don't think I'll be needing. In future, you might be dealing with some other data that has maybe a date, a year or a month, or maybe a name, specific name or something which are listed over here, in which you need to go back and refer. You might keep it. But in this case, I know these are just the source names, which I am not going to need it. So all I'm going to do is delete it. So for that, I'm just going to select over here and click or hit the delete button on my keyboard. So you see, what I did is selected the source name, and on my keyboard I'm hitting the delete button. So this deletes the first column. Now the remaining rows are date, IT department, cost element, country, and actual. The dollar amount, the actual money spent is listed over here. And something more is, you can see just like Excel, there are several filter buttons over here for date, IT department, multiple departments, cost element, multiple of them, countries, country, multiple of them, and actuals. So for example, if I want to select like only look at the numbers for USA, United States, I will deselect all or unselect all of these and go to USA and say OK, and I can see all these numbers only for USA. And this is very important because suppose I want to load the data in my pivot model or the Power BI table or chart or dashboard that I'm building. If it is only for one specific country, then it's unnecessary for me to load all the data, because it is unnecessary data and it will just make my file size big, and I won't be using it. Yeah. So again, this is where you apply the filter before you load all this data. So yeah, currently we are doing this cleaning, then transforming, and then loading. Yeah. So again, we are still figuring out the cleaning part. So first column we deleted, that is the source name, which was unnecessary. So that's one part of a cleaning. And now, second part is if I want to apply filters, it is still a part of cleaning. In this case, I'm going to need it for all the countries. Again, I was just trying to show you how to select or deselect some options. So in this case, I will either select, sorry, it has already been applied. So I'll unselect all and then select all of them and click OK. And you can see all the remaining countries also come back. Similarly, this is the simple example we saw. We also have loads of tools within our Power Query editor to do the transform or more editing before we load our data into our data model. So first being the transform. Again, these are just for your knowledge familiarizing. As we go in future, as we start building more and more Power BI reports or dashboards, we'll be utilizing almost all of these. So the first one being transform, the first one is say table category, then there is any column category, text column, number column category, date time column, and scripts. And within say subgroup of these, you see tables group by used first row as header or transpose reverse row, count rows, and so on. And then there is this any column which has subcategories of data type. And again, if I make this bigger, you see currently it's text. I can also say select a data type for this as decimal number, fixed decimal, and so on. This is very similar to what we see in Excel. Similarly, in here, this case also replace values with, if I make this bigger, again, replace values or replace errors, the next one being unpivot columns and so on. So that's done. So next one is, you see the text column. I can split the columns if I want to split by delimiter, specify the delimiter, whether it's comma, it's a space or double comma or a hyphen, or by number of a character. If I want to split every column, suppose there is a number 0 or 8 or 9, or by position, say fifth character is a delimiter, and so on. Same like we can do formatting and so on. So just for your knowledge purpose, I'm going over. The next one is add column. So related to any editing related to the adding column, here are the several options. In general, there is column from example, custom column, invoke custom functions, and conditional column and so on, and then there is a from text and there is a from number. You can do some basic statistics, summation, standard deviation, summation, x bar average, or do some standard calculation expressions, or some scientific as well. So these are some more options available. Similarly, we have this view option, tools option, and so on. We'll talk more in detail as we start solving more and more Power BI dashboards and reports. Yeah. So currently, coming back to where we are at. So technically, we are ready to load this data. Yeah. So we have cleaned it, transformed it. We removed the unnecessary items. We also checked the option of filtering. In this case, we are using all of these countries, and we also saw what these list of queries are, how they are built. Yeah, these are auto generated by the Power Query Editor, and on the right hand side for each of the specific query, you can see the added steps that are added over here. Yeah, so technically now we are ready to load this data. So we have cleaned this data, transformed it, and now we are ready to load this data. So I'm just going to click on, say, close and apply. So I just click on close and apply. You can see it's doing its thing, and then there will be something called as actuals that gets added. So technically, even the actual data got added here to be added and to be used in our data model that we are going to create shortly. Okay, one more thing I would like to mention is, let's go ahead and save this pivot table in case your computer shuts down or something goes wrong. We don't want to lose your work, so I'll just select save as. I'll say, yeah, browse in this device. Then I know exactly where it is. It's in my downloads. For you, maybe you can create a separate folder for this class. I mean, I have a separate folder for this class in our teaching, so I'm just selecting the specific one. I deleted all my previous, so this will be my fresh one. So yeah, lecture 2 Monday 26, and I will say, yeah, Power BI report 1. One is what I will name it as of now, and I'm going to save it. Yeah, so yeah, by doing that, you see the name, the title over here will change shortly, and it's telling me a timestamp when it was saved, the last one. Now coming back to our original file, you can see the data tables are ready for further processing and building our relationship as well as models. Next thing, I will quickly check the relationships. So for that, within my left tab, the first one is report view, where we are currently at. Then is a table view, and then we have a model view, which is also a relationship view. So I click on this model view, and here you can see, yeah, Power BI has auto created the relationship based on all the table connectors to the best it can. You can see it's an exploded view. There are a few ways I can change it. One is make this properties as well as data smaller. I can see all the 6 tables that I created, and you can see these are my dimension. These are the parts of my dimension table, which is cost element, departments, region, and these are my actual fact tables, which is budget, forecast, and actual. Just to simplify things, let me get this bigger. We are going to need it as we go. Let me get this bigger also. You can see this is expanded, and some of the part of the actuals is hidden behind the properties or data. So all I'm going to do is click Control, keep it pressed, and scroll my mouse button. So again, it reduces in size. Yeah, so this is what I'm seeing. Second thing, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to rearrange these fact tables. So what I'm going to do is keep all the dimension tables on the top, which is cost element, department, and regions, and I'm just going to drag this budget, which is a part of actuals, or sorry, which is the part of your fact table, then forecast, also part of fact table, and actuals, which is also part of fact table. Yeah, I'll move this to the bottom row over here. So just to keeping it more of a standardized. Then I can see these relationship connectors over here. Yeah, and just quickly browsing through. Yeah, let me make these bigger. For now, you can see the connectors are flowing out from your dimensions table into my fact tables. Yeah, so in the one, you can see the arrow is facing down. Here also the arrow is facing down. Here also the arrow is facing downwards towards my actuals, which is also part of facts table here as well. So looks like this is correct. And the next thing is to understand the details of the relationship. If I hover my mouse on each of this line over here, it will show me the connecting lines. Yeah, so which are the 2 elements that are connected together. So for example, if I click on this line, you can see this line becomes green, yeah, kind of boldish green, and the cost element is highlighted over here. At the same time, the cost element is highlighted over here. So those are the connecting linkages. Similarly, if I hover over here, I can see the IT department and IT department are connected over here. So these are the connecting elements. Here as well, cost element, here as well, country. So these are the connecting relationships between these sets of data. Yeah. So this is something that has been auto identified, auto detected by Power BI and made the necessary connections. Next part is to check the detail. If I'm not happy, suppose as we go, I'll show you some examples. But as of now, if I'm not happy with some of these connections, all I will do is I'll double click on any of these lines, say this one. So as soon as I double click, you can see a window like this pops up. It says edit relationship. So here I have the opportunity of making the necessary changes. I can change based on actuals, budget, department tables. Currently, I'll keep it as is because I know it's right. But just wanted to show you how to do that in future. Yeah. So just familiarizing yourself, nothing else. So again, from table and then within this for forecast, it is showing me what are the different columns. So yeah, cost of element, country, date, forecast, and the IT department, and then it is connected to the table that is called as cost element. So if I make it bigger, yeah, again I have several options. I can change it, but I'll keep it as is. And within this cost element, there are three different columns, which is BU, business unit, external labor, internal labor, employee, and so on. And again, the cardinality, which we'll talk later on. As of now, let's keep it as is. Same is the case with cross filter direction, single, and this is checked. So as of now, I'll keep it as is. So I won't make any change. So just yeah, cancel it out. Similarly, if I have to check this one, say yeah, between region and actuals, yeah. So this is actuals and regions. These are the connecting. Yeah, these are the two tables connected, and the common line within them is, or the common column or the common unified data between the two, which is common, is country and country over here. Yeah. So again, this is between regions and the actuals. So cancelled. Suppose if I check this one or maybe the first one. So it's the cost element, which is the common over here. Cost element, cost element. It is connected in between cost elements over here. You see this one with the table, which is budget over here, and these are the yeah, details of each of them. So this is just wanted to familiarize yourself with yeah, these are what are the connectors and so on. So for now, these all look right to me. So yeah, we are ready to move further. Here, I will also mention that this departments table has only one relation with the actuals table, and that's totally okay. That's one of the key reason might be there might be some other departments which are a part of your departments within your budget as well as forecast with a different name. Yeah. So again, just quickly checking. So cost element has three relations. One is cost element between budget. Second one is cost element between actuals, and third one is cost element between forecast. This table for regions has again three connections, 1, 2, 3. The first one being countries between regions and forecast. Second one being countries between the region and budget. Third one being countries between the regions and actuals. But unlike the other two, which is cost element and regions, the department table has only one relationship. And again, the reason is, yeah, maybe there are different names. You can see this one is IT department, and again it says IT space DEP dot, here also IT space DEP part. Yeah. So yeah, that's the reason. So again, it's easy to, once you identify those commonalities between different names, all I'm going to do is drag this. So click here, drag it to my departments. Yeah, so from my budget, I'm dragging IT dep dot to my departments, IT department over here, and just overlap. And now it is creating between department and budget. Yeah, the IT department versus IT dep dot. Yeah, so I'm going to say save. As soon as I do that, you can see a new relationship is created between department and budget. Same is the case where between department and forecast. I'm going to drag this IT dep dot to IT department. Yeah, I just try to overlap where you can see a dotted window like this is created for the IT department. So just leave it over there, and then a new window like this pops up for the new relationship, and it is telling the commonality between departments and a forecast is IT dep and IT department. So it looks good to me. So I'm going to say save. Yeah. So again, we created a couple more connectors, relationships between department and budget as well as forecast. Now, one more thing, one more table I'm going to add is for dates. And again, there is a way we can do it. We might not need it, but in this case, we will create one, and I will tell you the reason why. Now, in Power BI, I may or may not require a dedicated calendar table for each of this, but in this case, for my visualization, I plan to create visuals for budget, forecast, and actuals, where I will need one dedicated day for the listed calendar years that are mentioned in my data sets for the actuals. So for that, I'll be needing, and that's the reason I'll be creating a calendar. There are two ways we can do it. In Power Query, you can create a calendar within a Power Query itself and then use it in your Power BI, or within Power BI, I can use a calendar or calendar auto function. Yeah, so let's talk briefly about it. To add a new calendar table, I'm going to go to this table view, and here again we have the standard tabs: home, help, table, tools. So within table tools, I'm going to go to new table. I click on that, and here it's starting with this something called as table equals to. I'm going to backspace it, and I'm going to say calendar. That's the name of my new table I'm adding. So calendar space equals to, I'm going to say calendar auto function. Yeah, so again caps lock CALENDE. Oh yeah, I just auto select this. Calendar auto function is selected, and in order for me to start the first month to be the first month of the fiscal year selected, I can start January, or like if I'm going to say January is going to be 1. If I want to start it by February, I will say 2. March, I will say 3 and start. But in this case, I want Power BI to auto detect the total number of months within the data that has been provided over here. So I'm just going to leave this blank. And once I close that box, you can see a bracket like this appears, and there is a cursor blinking on the extreme right hand side. All I'm going to do is press enter, and you see it will auto generate a table based on the table called as a calendar, based on the data that is already present within the several tables which are already been added to this data function over here. And again, it starts with the first day of the first month. And since I haven't given any condition, it will just do an auto calendar. So it will end on the last day of that specific fiscal year, that is 2023 12/31. Yeah. So this is what it did. So this is how you use your calendar function. And then again, I'm going to go and say save. I have a calendar function. Next, I want to go ahead and create a relationship between the fact tables, budget, forecast, actuals, and the calendar. For that, I'm going to do some modifications. I'm going to hold my control key on my keyboard and hold my mouse and make these a bit smaller. I'll move the calendar below the forecast, and then I'm going to drag each of these. You see the common features or common set of data between these fact tables and calendar, that is date, date, date. So I'm going to drag this date and make a connection that is a relationship between this date and the date in a calendar. Yeah, again, I'm going to like this. For new relationship appears, everything looks right to me. I'm going to say save. Awesome, this has been created. Same thing for the second one, date. Date, drag it to the date. In a window like this, for new relationship appears, date looks correct to me, say save. Awesome, this relationship created. Third one, drag the date into a date within calendar. Again, new relationship window pops up, looks right to me, say save. Awesome, the third relationship has also been created. You see, I'm frequently saving this file in case your computer goes turns off or something goes wrong. The work is still saved. One more step before I head to start my visualization is I like to set the formatting. I like to do that in my table view, that is a data view over here. So the very first is I like to do it for the actuals, and for my actuals I will make this bigger and select the actual, which is this part over here, and I will use a comma separator over here. Yeah, so again within actuals I will do a comma separator over here. Same is the case for my budget over here, and within this budget, there it is. Yeah, here you go for the budgeted row. Yeah, so which is this one. I will set a comma separator over here as well. So actual budget, and the next one is for my forecast. So here, yeah, for my forecast, let's see which one I'm looking at. So is the actual field that is forecast over here. I will select either here or this whole column and click on the comma. So again, technically what I'm doing here is when I'm building my visuals, it will automatically set those formatting so that I don't have to go to each of these entities and do it manually. So it will be automatically placed over here. So I set up these comma formatting for my actuals, that is actual, and then budget, which is the sum of budget, and forecast, that is sum of the forecast over here, which are the numbers. I set up the commas. Next part is I will also do a formatting for my countries. Yeah, so within actual, budget, you see there is a country actual, within budget also there is a country, and I think within forecast also there is a country, and then there is a region. So all I'm going to do is I will start from the top. Yeah, actual, I'll select countries, and here you can see the data category is uncategorized so far. I'll make this bigger and specify that it is a country. Yeah, so again, that's the first one is done. Second one is within budgets, go to country, and again this one is also a data category is uncategorized. I will select country. Yeah, you see it's done. Third one is my forecast. I'll go over here within forecast. I'll select country and select country as the data category. It's doing its job and it's done. The lastly for the region as well. So again, region, I'm selecting countries over here, and within uncategorized, I'm going to select country. So that way, while building my visuals, Power BI will automatically know what I'm supposed to do with my these country category. Yeah, and one more thing is after we set that category as a country, you can see a symbol like this for the globe has come up for the country, each of them. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So that tells that it has been categorized as a country. Yeah. So again, I will go ahead and save it again. Ready to build your visuals. So let's go to our reports view over here by clicking this button on the left pane. Here in Power BI, you can also try using the built-in Q&A, that is your AI function. So let's click on Q&A, and here I'm going to type in, say, actual versus budget as, yeah, let me pick something called as, let's say, pie chart. Yeah, PIE as pie chart. So I'm clicking it. Awesome, it's building. But technically this, yeah, I mean, some of the font is gone, so I'll just make it bigger. Technically it doesn't make a real sense because I don't think I'll be presenting actual versus budget into, you know, two separate options. What I would prefer on the other hand is I should be plotting this entire budget as a total, and within that what fraction is the actual. Yeah, so for example, my total budget is 133 million, and out of which my actual usage of money is 123 million, so roughly 10 million is remaining. So that's how I should be plotting it. So let me play around. So again, in the first hand, using my Q&A, which is my automated AI function built in, this is what I got by typing the text over here. And this is the first time we are doing, so let's play around. So I typed in actual versus budget. There are a few options it is giving, saying, say, if I select table, I'll get it in tabular format. Oops, looks like there's a problem, so maybe that's not the ideal. Next one is, say, matrix. Awesome, it's giving me in a matrix format, and again it's a standard table in a single column. Just showing you some of the options which are there. Say as a gaze, as a line chart. Let's see what I get for a line chart. Okay, I'm just getting a line. One point over here, second point over here. Well, maybe not the ideal in this case. So awesome. Let's go back and pick, say, the pie chart was a better one. Yeah. So I'll just start with the pie, chart to start with, and it's giving me a pie chart. Now I can go here. You see my visualizations. Currently, it's a pie chart that is selected. So let's see what happens if I select a donut chart. Awesome, it's giving me a donut, but still not the ideal one because I expect this entire to be the total budget, and out of which I must be seeing a sum of actual, yeah, as a fraction of it. So there is one more option called as gauge chart, GAUGE over here. You can see I'm hovering my mouse. So once I select that, awesome, this kind of is making more sense. So looks like my total is 246 million. Okay, yeah, this is, I think, yeah, this is what is making sense. And out of which my actual is 123 million. So looks like I'm happy with it. So I'll stick with it. So if I do this, it's covering my entire screen area, available screen area. Maybe that's not what I'm wanting. So I'll go back to the report and maybe just readjust the size. Let's work on some formatting. So I'm moving my first visual somewhere down over here and maybe reduce the size. Yeah, I'll just eyeball it right now, put in an approximately size, and let's work on, let's see, change some color and yeah, change the title over here. So for in order for you to do that, you see this visualization sub tab over here, pane, and within here you can see the various different charts of visualization you can use. You see, like we kind of explore some of these and we kind of finalized this looks the best as of now. And again here, if I have to change say coloring, yeah, so instead of this by default it's selected blue, I want say orangish or something like that. I'll play around over here. So I'll go, you see there are three subtabs over here within visualizations. First one is build, yeah, for the building visual there is add data to your visual. Second one is here format your visual. Third one is add further analysis to your visual. For now let's focus on format, so I'm clicking on this format your visual. Here I'll go to, yeah, you see there is a, within formatting there is visual and general. You see general will go there shortly. Let's check the options for visual. So first is here gauge access. I won't be worried a lot about it. Say color, currently is this color. Maybe as discussed, suppose I want to pick, yeah, I think this looks good. And same is the for target also, I'll use this that says number E, yeah, you see this number E1C233 theme color 7 to 20% lighter. I'll pick this one. So you see this color changes. I think I'm happy with it. Let's just check few more options. See, data labels is this one, but it's taking by default. We'll touch the topic sometime later. Again, let's quickly browse again for the target label. This is the setup use, setting used, yeah, and then call out. This is the setting used. I think I'm happy with whatever it is right now. Then let's check the yeah, the texting over here. So I'll go to general and for title. Yeah, suppose currently it's saying is the sum of actual. Well, maybe it's not very clear. Only this is the sum of actual, but again, it's not telling you what this 246 million and all that is. So maybe let me let's be precise. So I will change this name to say actual year to date, y to date versus say fiscal year FY budget. Yeah. So you see, as soon as I make a change over here, it gets updated over here, and I'll just make it a bit bigger. I think this looks good to me so far. So yeah, let's stop on this topic over here. So technically, even without knowing how to use Power BI, we created our first visual, which is this actual year to date versus fiscal year budget. You can also insert a visual by selecting an option from this gallery shown over here. This time I'm going to select a KPI. So here is a symbol for the KPI. Just click on it. You can see a box like this appears, visual box. Now in this KPI, for you these might not be expanded. So what you are seeing is something like this and this. So everything is yeah, just in non-expanded form. So the first one, go to calendar, expand, select the date, and you can see the visualization. It automatically identified the trend axis as the date. The next is, yeah, so the value is going to be your forecast. So I'm just going to drag this forecast into my values, and your target is going to be a budget. So expand this, and you see the sum of budget, drag it within your target. So you'll see a small visual like this. I'm going to drag it down, because that's where we are going to place it as we go. Some more formatting changes are needed over here. I will explain why. So first one is, you can see like by default it is taking sum of forecast and sum of budget. So let's correct that. Yeah, so let's correct the title. I'm just simplifying things over here. So yeah, go to this format your visual. Well, not over here, not the target label icon, I guess, not a call out of, sorry, it should be in the general, correct. So title. So let me fix this. So instead of sum of forecast, I'm just going to say forecast and budget by date. So delete. Yeah, so now it's clear, forecast and budget by date. Okay, this looks good to me. I'm going to make this smaller. something more within the visual. For now, I'm going to do something. Please follow my instructions and yeah, do the same thing. So the next thing you see, we were here in general and within title. So we took care of that. We fixed this. Now go to this visual over here, visual. Then for you, these might not be in expanded format. So yeah, this is how you should be looking at. Within this, select or expand this target label, make it bigger. And within this, you will see two options, values and distance to goal. Expand this. And for you, it must be selected this the same, like distance direction, that is increasing is positive. Make this bigger and select decreasing is positive. Well, for now, just follow my directions. As we solve more and more of these visualization assignments, you will come to know why I'm doing that. But as of now, please follow my directions and select decreasing is positive. Yeah, once done, make this small, collapse it over here. We need to make some more changes to the trend axis. Yeah, so again, it's by default it is saying like, good color, that is upward is green, flat is orange, that is neutral color, and bad meaning downward direction is red color, which is bad color. For now, just follow my guidelines and reverse this. So good color, just select red. If you don't see this option, there must be a red color on this extreme right hand side top. So select that red color. And for bad color, if you don't see this green color, just select this more option, and within this, select in the center of this green, and yeah, that should be good enough. So once done, yeah, come out of it. I would like to make one comment over here. Why I selected the reverse way for the color, that is, good color is red and bad color is green. So here the field we are checking, or the KPI we are looking at, is the cost. So in general, higher the cost is not good for your business. If these were reversed, like something like a revenues or profit, higher the revenues, good for the company, higher the profit is good for the company. But in this case, we are looking at the cost. So definitely if the cost is increasing for a company, for whatever product services they are offering, if the cost is increasing, that is not good. So that's why we selected red if it is increasing and green if it is decreasing, because it's cost. Yeah, so that's the comment I will like to make, and yeah, the clarification. The next visual I want is the line chart. So please click this icon that says line chart. A chart like this appears. Please move it somewhere over here, well top, but somewhere on the right hand side, and let's make it a bit longer. I think for now this should be good enough. And here within the calendar, expand this and check this small button that and check mark this date. You can see the x-axis auto detected the date on the x1. Here I do not need to the day level of details, so I will uncheck this. So I'm checking this x over here for the day. Month level is all I want, so this is good for now. Next, please go to the actual, make it bigger, and check this sum of actuals over here. Then make this budget bigger, check mark this sum of budget, then go to your forecast, expand it, and select this summation of forecast. Awesome. So we got this plotted. Next thing is, please click somewhere over here and you see this drill down, right? So let's drill down until you reach the month level. Currently it's only the annual level, which is year level. So we have data only for 2023 for all the three entities, that is actual, budget and forecast. The actual spend, total budget, and the forecasted for 2023, right? So it's only going on the highest level, which is here. So let's drill down. So for doing that, please click, select somewhere on the chart over here and click this double arrow down. Now it went to the quarter level. Yeah, so January to April, 3 months, April to July, another 3 months, and the last one 3 months. So again, click one more time, it goes to the month level. Yeah, so this is drill down until month level. Few more things to change, edit are, you see in these the buttons that we see over here, right? The reference. So here I am seeing sum of actual, sum of budget, sum of forecast. So let's change it to let's remove the sum of and only keep actual, budget, forecast. For doing that, please go over here where it says y-axis and sum of actual. Click click over here, there's a down arrow. and yeah, check this, that the tab or the part of the button that says rename for this visual. So click on it and yeah, select sum of backspace actual, click over here. Yeah, so you see this change. Same thing for sum of budget and forecast as well. So I'm making this bigger, rename for this visual, select sum of space backspace. I can only see budget. Check over here. You see this change. Last, sum of, yeah, so rename for this field, sum of forecast, delete, close it out. Awesome. Yeah, so this got corrected. Few more things which I'm just visually checking over here and seeing is maybe these, yeah, the names for the x-axis and the headers for the y-axis doesn't make sense, because we can, yeah, just looking at these, we can tell these are months, as well as you see on the like y-axis, you can see the yeah, million, 20 million and 30 million. So we know these are the like some level of dollar, which is budget or actual budget or forecast. So these legends are self-explanatory. So we will get rid of these. For doing that, let's go to this part that says format your visual. So click over here, and here within general, yeah, so let's get rid of the total, like the top title first. So go over here, and probably we do not need this title, so I'm going to check. So currently it's set on I'm going to uncheck it. Yeah, so that disappeared. So that first step done. Second one is, let go into this individual y-axis and x-axis. For that, go within this visual part, and firstly the x-axis. Yeah, so let's take care of this one. For the x-axis, I am expanding this part, and here you see this title part is on. I'm going to click no, yeah, I mean uncheck it, say off. So this went away. Excellent. So this one part done. Next one is for your y-axis. So expand this y-axis and say title, uncheck this, or yeah, currently it's on, click on it and say off. You see that also disappeared. The next visual is for running totals. Now, in order for me to show the visual of running totals, I need to write some measures using Power Pivot formula language called as DAX, Data Analysis Expressions. Now here I need to write three measures, one for actuals, one for budget, one for forecast. First, let's start for actuals. So please click on these ellipses, the three dots also called as ellipses over here, that says more option. Click on it. At actuals, select new measure until the formula bar over here is activated. It will take few seconds. So now here we are ready to enter our expression, the very first one. Yeah, so again, let's call this as actual, ACTUAL RT. RT is synonym for running total, abbreviation for running total. Now please carefully watch this. So it's a long expression I'm going to type in, and in other words, it's nothing but just like a formula we type in our Excel, Microsoft Excel. So it's very similar, but it's a long one. So please watch carefully, and then you type in yourself on your computer. So starting it, yeah, I'll be using calculate function first, CALCULATE. And again, you can see, like when I start, it will show me lots of functions related to calculate. But again, I prefer typing the whole term, calculate. Yeah, so that's the first one. Then I start with a parentheses. Here I say sum, 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 start a parentheses again, of actuals. Yeah, ACTUALS, sorry, EUALS, then a bracket like this of the actual. You see, it's giving me the option, so I will just select that, actual of actuals, and then close the parentheses, then another comma after that. Start with filter, yeah, FILTER, filter, close, and here I'll be selecting all selected. You see this option, but I select this. So filter, parentheses, and all selected. Start with another parentheses. Oh, sorry, by default it was. So again, within the parentheses, start a quote. Okay, it should be single quote of calendar, CALEN. Yeah, you see it's showing me that option, and here I'll be selecting calendar date. Yeah, So yeah, selecting the calendar date, it's selected. Then I will close the parentheses here, closing the parentheses, then starting with comma, then is on or after. Yeah, so ISON or after. Yeah, you see, as soon as I type the first four characters, the actual formula is being displayed. So I'll select that, is on or after. Start with the parentheses. Oh, sorry, one parentheses, and start with the quote. And again, it's saying this calendar dates. Yeah, so I'll be selecting calendar date within the option that is available. Then I'll start. Then I will add another comma followed by max. Yeah, I'll just select what is available over here, so that yeah, that way I know I'm not doing any typo. Everything is in line with what options that are available. So after max, start a parentheses, then actuals. Yeah, ACTU actuals, and in bracket date. So this is the option I'll be selecting, and then again closing the parentheses, comma, and it is asking whether it should be ascending or descending. I'll be selecting descending. Yeah. So for now, please don't go into much more detail. Just follow these guidances, because this is the very first assignment we are solving. After we solve few of them as we go, I will explain you what these mean. Yeah, but this is your first hand experience using this expression. So please follow yeah, my guideline and complete this whole thing. So type exactly what I have yeah, typed over here. Maybe you can pause, and yeah, on your computer you can exactly type the exact thing, and yeah, complete this. And once this is done, just click on check mark over here that say commit. Awesome. So PowerBI will do its thing. Give it a few seconds. One more thing I'll mention, next to this actual RT that we barely created, the icon next to it is that of a calculator. It tells me that this is an explicit measure, meaning it's a measure that I have written myself with my DAX function in Power BI. So similarly, what we did over here, we'll be doing it for the budget as well as forecast. But in this case, we'll be exactly rinsing and copy pasting. Yeah. So here you go. I'm copying. So select this whole expression that we created. Click Control C on your keyboard. Yeah. So Control C. Make sure everything is selected. Then click Control C. Hit Control C on your keyboard. Yeah, so that copies the entire expression. Now go to this budget field over here and click on the ellipsis, make it bigger, and say new measure. Yeah, within few seconds that formula bar will be activated. Select the entire thing and say Control V. You can see the entire actual RT is copy pasted. The only change we need to do here, yeah, so we started with actual and this is your budget. So just change these yeah, names to from actual to budget, BUDGET. So this is your name of the field, and here you see there are actuals of actuals. So I will select this entire thing. I'm doing it slowly, yeah, or maybe you can pause, but I'm selecting this entire actual of actuals, and then I'm going to start typing the budget, yeah, BUDGET. As soon as I do it, I will get several options, which is budget of budgets, budget cost element, budget country, budget date, and budget IT department. So these are the separate columns within the budget file that we uploaded. So I'm going to select the budget, yeah, within the budget file, the column name budget. Yeah, so this is what I'm selecting. Selected. So this looks right to me. Then the next part, filter all selected calendar date remains the same. In is on or after calendar date remains the same. Maximum, this changes. Yeah, so maximum actual, instead of actual date, I'm going to select budget date. Yeah, so BUDGET date. Yeah, so I'm going to select this budget date. Awesome. Hey, here itself I'm seeing an issue which yeah, which is highlighted using this underline over here, and just a quick glance over here looks like there is an extra closing parentheses. So I'm just going to backspace it. Looks like it has been corrected. Yeah, so there is no other error. Yeah, that's a good thing about this DAX function, is that whenever you're writing this equation or creating a DAX function, if there's an error, you will see underlines, and yeah, that is the first red flag you should be looking at. So as soon as I do that, I think everything looks clear. There is no other error. So I'm going to click on commit, or click on this check mark, and you can see shortly within this budget a new field has been created, that is budget RT. And again, similar to actual RT, there is a calculator function. meaning it's an explicit measure which I have written it myself using my DAX function in Power BI. Similarly, we are going to do the same thing, exactly same thing in my forecast. Yeah. So again, the main function has already been copied. So I'll go to this forecast, click on this ellipsis, the three dots over here, also called as ellipsis. So click over here, a window like this pops up with multiple options. Again, I'm going to select new measure. Yeah, give it few seconds. A new measure is being created. It's named as measure as of now. So I'm going to select this entire thing. Control V. The same actual RT formula gets copied. I'm going to change it to forecast now. Yeah, FORECAST. Space RT equals to, similar to what we did in our budget. I'm going to select this whole actuals of actual. So within actual file, the selection is for actual column. So I'm going to change it to forecast. Yeah, so FORECAST, and as soon as I do it, I will get several options. So again, the right one is within this forecast file or forecast table. I'm going to select the forecast column. Yeah, so select it. This looks right to me. Filter all selected calendar date remains the same. Is on or after calendar date remains the same. Max of actual date. Yeah, so this changes. So I'm going to select this all, and I'm again going to start typing forecast, FORECAST, and again forecast date is what I should be looking at here. So within the forecast table, forecast date is what I'm selecting. I'll click all the way to the back. I don't see any red flag over here, meaning my DAX expression or the EIS formula is correct. So I'll click on this check mark or a commit. So 1, 2, 3, go. And as soon as I do it, you see this measure changes. A new measure is created. Field that is called as forecast RT. And again, other way to check if there is an error or not, I'll show you an example. So if I say leave an extra space over here and say commit, you see it's telling me there is an error already, cannot find a table. This one, which is a typo. And here also you can see there is an error. Yeah, so there is this caution that shows error. Yeah, so that's another way, just showing you. Again, in this case you don't have to, but I'm just showing you a good way to see if things are right or wrong is you will see an caution sign like this that tells that something is incorrect. Yeah, so again I will eliminate these extra two C's I have introduced and see, yeah, this one is correct, this is correct. Oops, again I think I did something. Oh, I know. So no, this has no business staying here, no problem. Date, it's already there. Again, please do not repeat what I did. Again, I was just trying to show you a few things. So again, although this message is over here, within this, when I corrected everything, there is no red flag out here, no red underline or anything that tells me everything is correct. So I will commit or click on this check mark. It will take few seconds, and yes, everything looks corrected. And you see there is a new field within this data has been created that's called as forecast RT. To build our next visual using the running totals, the three we created. So this time I'm going to use area chart. So please select area charts within the visualization. A chart like this appears. Let's move it to below this, the previous chart, and let's match up the width of it. So they are of the same width over here. And again, I'm going to select actual, the actual RT we created, measure, then the budget RT, and the third one is here, forecast RT. And these also I'm going to run across the dates on the x-axis. Awesome. So this chart is created. Let's do some cleaning over here. Here also, I don't need to a day level, so I'm going to get rid of the day. And make sure you select this and then go to this format here, visual. Here, probably we don't need the year as well as the axis titles, the year as well as the actual RT, budget RT, and so on. So for that, I'm going to go over here, x-axis, or maybe just make this bigger, and title wise, just turn it off for x-axis, make it smaller, collapse it, y-axis, get rid of the title. So unselect the title. These are gone, these are gone. This looks good. Yeah, these are kind of matching actual versus actual RT and so on. and this looks just too longer to me. So for that, make collapse the y-axis part, go to your general, make sure here this chart is visually selected, general, and here within the title make this bigger. Awesome. So here it says, yeah, like text. Yeah. So this is exactly text that is appearing over here. I'm going to do backspace and I'll use some simple term over here. Say running total, RUNNING TOTAL, or in bracket RT is what I'm specifying. Awesome. So this looks good to me. Well, if you check these, yeah, I think yeah, everything looks correct. So technically even this visual is complete. Make sure you save the file frequently. For my next visual, I'm going to need few more measures, but this time I'm going to have Power BI create those measures for me instead of the three measures that we created, right? If you guys still remember, we kind of typed in the formula over here, the first one, then copy and pasted in the next couple. So similar to that, I'm going to show you how to have Power BI do those calculations for me. So for that reason, I request you to go to this budget field over here, the data field, and click on this ellipsis, the three small dots over here, ellipsis, and then click on new quick measure. Yeah. So once clicked, a small sub window like this appears. Here, yeah, the structure of this is you can see some text over here, and then there is a calculations tab over here, and again there's only one tab. Next one is suggestion. Don't click anything yet. But yeah, within this calculation tab, you will have this something called a select a calculation, and if you expand this, you'll see a list here. And this is similar to like the last assignment we solved using the pivot tables in Excel for your Apple and Tesla stocks. So within that also there are features like these where you can do these extra calculations by default into your once the pivot tables are created. So yeah, this is similar to that. So let's quickly browse through what are the main categories. So the first category within this calculation is aggregate per category, and there are options average, variance, max, min, weighted average, and so on. So if you still remember, we saw something like this, and there is this filters, which is filter value, differences of filter value, percentage difference, filter value, sales for new customers, and so on. And then there is time intelligence, year to date, total, quarter, month, year, quarter, month, over month, and rolling average, and so on. And there is totals called as running totals, the kind of RTs we created, then total for category, and so on. And then there is simple mathematical operations, addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, percentage difference, and so on. And then there is text if you want to add and so on in within the calculations and so on. So these are several options. Yeah. So the field that I'm going to create or have pivot Power BI created for me is subtraction. Yeah. So please click on subtraction, and you see as soon as I click subtraction, what happens? Two new tabs like these appear. The first one is called as base value, second one is value to subtract. So the first one, for the base value, I request you to go to your sum of budget. Yeah, so this field over here and drag it all the way to this base value, sum of budget into your base value. So again, this is added. It looks correct to me. For the next, there is value to subtract. Please drag the sum of forecast. Yeah, so you see this is your forecast and this is your sum of forecast. Please drag here all the way. And as soon as you do these, you see this look correct. This add button is activated. It turns green. So everything looks right. So I'm going to click add. And when I do that, you see something is happening over here. Oops, my file has an issue, but no worries. Yeah, as soon as I click add, you see Power BI has created this expression for me. You remember last time what we did was, yeah, we kind of manually created for actual and then clean like copy pasted in the next two. So here Power BI itself has created it for me based on this quick measure that I created. Well, yeah, it looks right to me. Well, maybe I'll simplify this. Let's call this as budget versus forecast. Yes, or maybe budget v forecast. Simplify this, and everything looks like I'm going to click check or commit. Will do its thing. And as soon as it has added, you see a new field is created over here. A new data field is created that says budget v forecast, and again it has that calculator sign, which means that it's a measure that has been created manually by me, or maybe like using it is a custom measure that has been created by me. So yeah, that's done. So let's on top of this, let's add one more of this expression or a quick measure. So again, this field is there, and again for you, if it is gone, go over here, budget to budget over here, and again if it is gone from here, it will be activated over here. Right now I'm not seeing anything here because it's already, the field is already present over here. So yeah, I just make this bigger. And yeah, this was the past one which we already completed. So all I'm going to do is expand this, and here I'm going to get the percentage difference here. So let's start with simple. So again, within this mathematical operations, I'm going to say percent difference over here. And yeah, maybe this time we will reverse it out. So instead of doing yeah, let's take these off. So for percentage difference, again, it's asking for base value to compare, and there is something called as blank. We'll leave the blank as is. Yeah. So for this, yeah, let's see, we are going with percentage difference. So let's reverse it out. Yeah. So for this base value, I'm going to select, say, forecast over here, sum of forecast, and for here, I'm going to say sum of budget. Yeah, suffer. Yeah. And as soon as yeah, added those, everything is green, meaning we are good. Nothing, there is no issue over here. And this add button is activated. I'm going to click add. When I click add, you can see yeah, Power BI has auto calculated this expression for me, and this is much complex expression than we have seen the yeah, couple 2 times. So that's a good thing. We don't have to do that. So everything looks right to me. It's complicated, and again the title says budget percentage difference from forecast. Maybe I'll simplify it. Let's call it as budget percent v forecast percent. Yeah, so budget percent v forecast percent. Yeah, let's keep it as is, and everything looks right. So I'm going to say commit or click on this check mark. As soon as I do it, it'll do its thing, and yeah, this budget percent versus forecast percent has appeared. Yeah. Let's save this. Let's have this habit of quickly saving it. The pending changes maybe for not. Yeah, let's do this. Awesome. Yeah, looks like this has been taken care of. We are all set to create our next visual. This time I am going to select line and clustered column chart. You see over here. So yeah, within your options we have visualizations. Click on line and clustered column chart. Once I click, yeah, a box like this appears here. I'm going to drag it down. Let's try to fit in this space over here. Looks like vertically we have this extra space, so I'm going to drag it down. And yeah, let's try to match up this width with the upper 2 visuals we have. Awesome. Yeah, I'm seeing this aligning line over here. So this looks right to me. So for these, what I'm going to do is for the x-axis, I'm going to use date. Yeah, so I'll go here, and within this calendar, I'm going to check date. It will auto identify. For the x-axis, since it's a time series, so it is creating the time series part, x-axis. And for this part, unlike our previous charts, I do not need to have this date hierarchy over here. So for that, I'm going to elaborate this. So click on this down pointing arrow type thing. And instead of date hierarchy, I'm going to check date. Awesome. So that part is taken care of. And oops, sorry. And within this column y-axis, I'm going to select budget versus forecast. Yeah. So that calculated measure we created or calculated field we created. So I'm going to drag it down to column y-axis over here, and you will see something beautiful like this appears. And within this line y, yeah, so that's for the column y. For this line y axis, I am going to drag this budget percentage versus forecast percentage, the another measure calculated measure we created. So yeah, this is what we did, and you can see like yeah, something overlapping like this appears. So yeah, this is the right step forward. And again, well, this is messing out, so maybe I'll just elongate this so that I can view it properly. Awesome. Yeah, this is good. So awesome. Coming back to our chart, this is done. So this visually looks right to me. Now let's fix our formatting. Yeah, the standard practice we have been using for the other ones as well. So go within this format your visual. And for the x-axis, again, it's kind of self-explanatory, January, March, May until November. And this is 0 million, 5 million, and so on. So I know this is dollar value, yeah, budget versus forecast, and yeah, and this is the date. So again, this is kind of a redundant, repetitive. So I'll just take away like what we have been doing over here. So this title, x-axis and y-axis. So for that, I go within x-axis, I will take away the title. So yeah, the date is gone. Hey, one thing is, since we are using both the axes, for the y-axis, I'll still keep it. So here it's telling me on the left hand side of the y-axis, this part is your budget versus forecast. Yeah, for the month of January. So looks like this was the budget, and this is the yeah, like this is the deficit difference between them. So there is a huge difference between budget versus forecast. Versus in the next month, February, it was small. March, it was very close, which is a great thing. And then again in April, increase. May, it was in like opposite direction, negative, and so on. And here is the percentage difference between budget versus forecast. So yeah, this line shows the percentage difference. Yeah, I think this is a great way. So maybe for this visual, this axis on the left and the title on the left and right do make sense to me. So I'm going to keep these. This I'm definitely going to keep because it's the budget versus forecast. They are the blue colored bar chart I'm seeing. And this line is, yeah, this dark blue. So I'm going to keep this as well. And just like what we have been doing over here, I think I'll just get rid of the title over here. Yeah. So for that, I'll just go to this main part. Yeah, format here visual, and within that, since I'm dealing with this title, I will go to the general, and yeah, the current title is on. I'll just deselect this and say off. The title is on. Yeah, so technically we are done with this chart as well. For our next visual, we are going to use a clustered bar chart. So please go ahead and click on this icon over here that says clustered bar chart. I'm going to like this appears over here. And technically we are going to make 3 of these. So I will be creating one, and I'll be copy pasting the remaining 2 and making the necessary edits. Yeah. So yeah, do your best to fit in the space over here to the best you can. Looks like this is appropriate. And for this, the data fields, for you it might be expanded, everything might be messy based on whatever charts you have created. So for that, click on any one of these field over here, say calendar, and for you click on collapse all. Everything will collapse like these. And for our next visual, that this clustered bar chart we have initiated, I'm going to expand this region part, and I'm going to drag this region into my Y axis over here. That's the first thing done. For the second one, I'm going to expand this budget and going to use that budget percentage, forecast percentage in my X axis over here, and you will see a chart like this. Awesome. So the first task done. Next thing is I can see yeah, the regions Latin America, Canada, USA, Australia and New Zealand and Europe. Yeah, this is listed. Maybe yeah, let me go ahead and sort this a little bit. So export data, show as table, remove spotlight, sort axis. I'm going to select sort ascending. Yeah, so please go ahead and select this. Currently the descending is selected. Sort ascending. Awesome, this looks right to me. So Europe, yeah, so it's ascending, it's highest first, and oh sorry, it's yeah, sorry, the negative least one and then highest one over here. So yeah, sorted ascending value. Next thing is yeah, let's do a little bit of clean up over here. So for that, our standard practice, go to this format here visual. For the x-axis, these are kind of explanatory. So I'm going to yeah, go to the y-axis, and yeah, just values. Let's take away the title. Y-axis gone. Same is the case with my x-axis. So make this smaller. X-axis title gone. Awesome. This looks good. On top of it, I think I'll be adding the data values over here. So for that, make this smaller, and yeah, scroll a little bit down. You can see this data labels. So I'm going to activate it. Awesome. This looks great. On top of this, let's go ahead and do some more formatting. Let's use some color code using conditional formatting. For that, let's go, select this chart over here, go to this format here visual. One more thing which I didn't do previously is, let's get away this values, because the actual number, the data labels are available over here. So let's get rid of these. So I'm going to go to this x-axis, and for values, I'm going to turn it off. These values are gone. Awesome. So now the next important step is to use conditional formatting. Very useful tool, and for you guys, I want you to pay some extra attention. So within this, so format your visuals, everything is collapsed right now. So here you can see below zoom slider, there is this bars. Expand this and you will see this color, or maybe by default whichever color your computer has taken. So for that, I want you to expand this color part and select this one of the shade of, say, this specific, I'll say, brownish orange color in the middle. So select that one, and on top of it, let's work on our conditional formatting function. So for that, select this part, f of x. A window like this will pop up, and in this case, let's see, explore what this window is. For color category, that is conditional formatting within Power BI. So again, format style, there are three categories: gradient, rules, field value. We are going to use rule, middle one. And what field should we base this on? Again, by default, it says field region. I'm going to expand this, and here I'm going to select within budget, that is these fields over here, data fields. Within this budget, I'm going to select budget percentage versus forecast percentage. Awesome. So this is the by default whatever rule Power BI took. So let's look into it. So for the first rule, I want to if it is greater than or equal to 0%, and if it is less than 0 number, then I want it to be I'm going to select a shade of red. So let's select this within this the middle red. So within this reddish, I'm going to select this middle red. So if it is on the negative side, the greater than 0 or less than a certain 0 number, meaning negative, I want it to be red. So the first condition done. Now set up a new rule. So add on this part, a new rule is added. In this case, I want it to be so if the value is greater than or equal to 0, but instead of percent, I want it to be number. And the second one is if it is less than, or I will say equal to, I'm going to type 100, and I'm going to say percentage. So top condition is for less than 0, that is negative, and bottom condition, bottom rule is for greater than positive side. So here I want to select, say, let's select a darker shade of gray. I say 30 white, but 30% darker white. So let's select this. Everything looks right to me. So I'm going to click OK, and as soon as I do that, awesome, you can see it's getting the color code, and this is looking great. I can differentiate between the negative and the positive numbers clearly. Let's copy this one. I'm going to click Control C on here and Control V. You can see the same visual is copied. I am going to move it down so that I can see both of them. Oops, there is one change I quickly saw in the title, so let me fix that. So I can either undo this or just select this, delete it, click this, the very first one, and now within this title over here, I'm going to go format your visual. I'm going to say visual and general. I'm going to click general, and within title, you see the title says budget percentage versus forecast percentage by region. And again, in this case, let's say it's too lengthy. The region is very obvious. So I'm just going to remove the by region part, and I'm seeing budget percentage versus forecast percentage. Then I'm going to click select. I'm going to just select this. I'm going to say Control C, Control V, drag it down over here. Awesome. So you can see when I did this copy paste, my conditional formatting has been carried over here, which is a very good sign. And within this, for my next, I'm going to use this cost elements. So for this, what I'm going to do is I selected this, expand this cost element, and this for cost element, you see the third one, cost element group. I'm going to drag it to my y-axis. You see it's dragged over, and I'm going to remove this previous carryover, which is region. So awesome, this visual looks great. Yeah, capex negative 10.5%, other is negative 10.14, and the highest is administrative, that is 148.51. Next, I'm going to copy this whole thing, Control C and Control V. The same visual gets copy pasted, and I want to move it a little bit down. Later on, we'll work on adjusting the height so that all three are evenly distributed. But for now, I just work on this third copy pasted visual within this group of three. And the third visual is going to be for the IT area. So again, it's going to be a part of this. I'm going to expand the departments. I'm going to select the IT area and drag it to my y-axis. I can see this over here, and then I'm going to delete the cost element group. Awesome. Yeah, so here I can see infrastructure governance, BU support, business unit support, functional enablement, and the respective numbers, and I can see the conditional formatting very well. Yeah, carried over for the all three, and again these three look very good, like they go very well together. So let's quickly fix the heights approximately, and again, if you want, you can fix it like very in a very accurate manner also, but for now let's try our best. This is the first visual we are building, so let's just eyeball it. Awesome, and let's drag it a little, make it a little longer. This one also, let's try to make it a little long. Maybe this is too longer. This way. Here, let's drag it a little down, or maybe there are less y-axis options over here and more over here. So let's make this longer, shorten it, and make this also longer. One more thing, what I saw over here is the headers for all these three are the same, which is not true. Only for the first one, it's budget versus forecast. This one is budget versus cost element, and within that, yeah, cost element group. So let's fix the title over here. Yeah, so this one is selected. So I'm going into format here, visual and general, and within that title, and here it says budget versus forecast, but it should be budget. Yeah, budget versus forecast percentage for each of these areas. Well, technically, maybe these are the same. Maybe on purpose, I'm not selecting the by region or by this areas, cost elements and the areas. So maybe we can keep it as is. I just checking. No worries, nothing wrong with checking. So coming back, so these three look good. I'm going to add a slicer for the regions. Make sure you haven't selected any of these visuals yet. So select somewhere over here and go over here and select slicer. A window like this or a box like this will appear. Go to your regions and select, expand it and select regions. You can see the region slicer options are available over here. Currently, I'm seeing a checkbox type of option. So for that, let me go to this format here. Usual. Make sure your region slicer is selected. So yeah, it's selected over here as a whole window. Then go to format your visuals and then go to slicer settings. Here are the several options. Say selection. Over here, slicer header. I think yeah, this is good. Values. Let's explore somewhere over here. Effects, properties. Well, not in the properties header. I think it's in the visuals. So yeah, currently I'm seeing within option. Yeah, so visuals, slicer settings, options. I'm seeing a vertical list like this. Let's expand this and select drop down. And when I do that, you can see a drop down menu like this has appeared, and I'm seeing all of it. So I can make this bigger. I can select some of these, say Canada, and you can see I'm only seeing data for Canada, or unchecked all, and then again it goes to all. So awesome, this looks great. I'm going to make it a bit smaller like this, and going to drag it a little bit down over here. Awesome, this looks great. So by doing this, we created a slicer for the region, and again the option we are selecting is drop down over here. So yeah, to change, go over here, slicer settings within visual. Yeah, drop down is what we selected. Going back, so this part is also complete. Next, I'm going to add a card in this empty spot over here. So for that, within your visualization, the card option is over here. You see this card shape and 1, 2, 3. Click on that, please. You see visual like this appears over here, box like this appears over here. And here I'm going to use the year to date function. Yeah, and again here I'm just trying to display what year to date data is present over here. For that, I have to create another measure. So I'm going to go to this actuals. I'm going to say new measure. So go to that ellipsis, three dots, and go, yeah, select new measure over here. And once done, it will do its magic. And yeah, this, yeah, the equation builder, or yeah, the formula bar is activated. Here I'm going to select all and going to start a new measure. So just type in with me for now. I'm going to start, let's name it as YTD, which is year to date month. YTD space MONTH, that will be the name, equals to, so I'm going to use the format function over here. Yeah, so FORMAT, or I'll just select this f of x format by default, whatever it is. So that's the best way. And then I'm going to format the max value. Yeah, MAX, just select this max. Bracket is already started. Max of the actuals within the date. Yeah, sorry, the date within the actuals table. Yeah, so ACTUALS, and the date within the actuals table. Awesome. Then I'm going to say comma, and then I'm going to use the format. I'm going to format it as MMM space YYYY. So that's the format that will be used, and close. And I'm going to concatenate that with YTD. Yeah. So yeah, close the parentheses space. So to concatenate, I'm going to use the AND space start. Yeah, start a bracket, or sorry, start a parentheses, or yeah, sorry, the first to me column, and space YTD, close it out, and then everything looks right. I don't see any error. I'm going to check this commit. Oops, too few arguments. Okay, looks like there is. Oh yeah, the last parenthesis doesn't make any sense. So for that, yeah, that's the reason. So I'm going to say commit now. Awesome. The Power BI is doing its thing. We're saying too few function is 2. Okay, max for, okay, it looks like there is something missing over here. Max 1, max, this isn't closed. Awesome, got it. So this has to be closed. Sweet, close it out. Awesome, is doing a job. Yeah, this time it's fixed. Yeah, so this is the right yeah, formula, or the right syntax as well as formulas. So please pay attention over here. So 1 YTD month equals to format max of date within actual table, comma, yeah, close this, close this. Yeah, start with these, yeah, like double apostrophe MMM space YYYY, close it, parenthesis closed, concatenate with AND. Yeah, yeah, signs like D space YTD, close it out, and then a check mark commit. And you can see a new measure within the actual, and this is a measure, like, I mean, the calculated one that has been created over here. So that's awesome. So just select this and check mark it, and you can see, yeah, the YTD month has been presented over here. Yeah, year to date for the actuals is presented over here. Let's do the formatting over here. So go here and call out value category label. Maybe let's get rid of the category label first. Okay, awesome. Now this looks too big. Let's fix the size, I will say. So for the title, no, not for that, it's off. Header icon, I think this is also correct. So within visuals, yeah, so category label, it's off. So call out value. Awesome. So this looks too big for me. Let's try to fit all of this in one line. Currently it's 45. Let's reduce it. 44, 43, 41, 40, 39, 38, 37, 36. Awesome. So when I select this as 36, call out value, it fits into a single, yeah, single like a row. So this looks good to me. Maybe I will create this. I think this is good enough. Awesome. So technically, yeah, this whole report is completed. Let's do some formatting. Yeah, so let's do standardizing of some of the colors over here. So you can see there is blue over here, and most of these are orange, and this is also maybe a shade of orange. So we can keep this as is. So let's go over here. I'm going to select this chart, and let's do some formatting. Yeah, so format over here, and I'm looking for the bars over here. Yeah, so let's change it, maybe either this or this part, or let's find a, yeah, let's use this orangish. So within this, not the data labels, or maybe data, yeah, they are off right here. These are all off. So within columns, yeah, the color is a blue. Let's change it. Let's try to use this. And here as well, maybe we can select this. Yeah, maybe let's over here change this. So this looks correct to me. Do we need to do anything for the line? Solid, round, 3-point, linear looks good. Color. Yeah, maybe for color also, instead of this dark blue color, we can go with this color. Maybe it's not really standing out. Let's try a darker shade of this same orange. So it's over here. Let's try this. Awesome. This looks good. Now, since we have built our first interactive dashboard or a report within Power BI, now let's go ahead and learn how to add a theme or play with several themes that looks appropriate to you. So in order for you to do that, go to the View tab over here on the top, View, click on it, and here are the several themes available. Yeah, so if you want to make it bigger, yeah, these are several standard themes available within Power BI, or you can browse some of the themes which are already created on your PC, or there is if there is a theme gallery, you can select it, or you can say select here, customize the current theme and maybe save it as a certain name or something. Yeah. So yeah, let's play around with some of the standard ones available. So for example, if I select this one, to see yeah, the theme colors are applied, and you will yeah, see all your visual dashboard and yeah, this theme applied. On top of it, let's play with some darker colors. Say I will go with this purple bloom theme within Power BI. Awesome. Even this looks good and very standardized. Yeah, I like, maybe I'll stay with this. But yeah, let's play around with a few more darker. Say I will go with this innovate name theme. Oh wow, it's darker, and even this looks like way attractive, much attractive. Let's play with the next darker. Awesome. So it looks like the black background is darker, and these are my charts. Oh, awesome. So when I applied this theme, this specific theme with the name title, you can see yeah, some of the gaps over here are seen because the background is darker and my charts are of a lighter color. So this is an opportunity for me to yeah, utilize the maximized space within this chart. For some reason it's not moving. Maybe it's fixed in this theme. But yeah, this is movable and this is not moving. I don't know why. But yeah, let me try. Yeah, let's make this bigger and try to utilize the whole space as much as possible. So this becomes bigger. I think this is good. Here also I think there is a gap, gap over here. So I'll select this part and drag it a little on this side. Maybe this is overlapped. Move it here. Oh, sorry, this is also overlapped. Move it here. Awesome, glad that we tried this. Some of the gaps are exposed, so we are trying to utilize the maximized space over here. Here also looks like there is space. Maybe this is longer, so I'll use this bigger. And I think frankly we are in a good shape here, but I see a small line here, so let's marginally move it. Or I can live with it for now, no worries at all. And again, to utilize the maximized space, I can make this smaller, this smaller. Oh, awesome. Yeah, technically I can live with it, but no problem. Yeah, so maybe I will stick with this. Maybe, yeah, it was looking the best. So yeah, let's go ahead and save it. And for you, I'll give you the, your full freedom to pick whichever theme you like. Yeah, all are accepted. So don't worry, pick whichever theme you like and make sure you save your whole dashboard you have created or the report you have created. And since we have already created our first successful dashboard, let's try to utilize the interactive feature it has, which are interconnected. So for example, if I select this, say USA, yeah, if I select this part, you can see all the data is filtered only for USA. And if I select Australia and New Zealand, you can see it's all interactive. So whichever I select, yeah, I'm seeing the specific data for that specific region here. And if I select on it back, it will go, yeah, come back to like all the data over here. And same if I select, so for budget versus forecast for the different departments or yeah, the areas. If I select administrative, you can see there is this negative like difference between forecast and budget is negative, and percentage wise is negative 51. So it looks like there is an like, yeah, big mismatch. Same thing if I do for shared services, yeah, looks like it's a positive. And yeah, I'm seeing this interactivity over here. So this is a very strong feature Power BI has, and that's one of a key advantage of Power BI, this interactiveness. Well, is there in others also, but the level of interactivity that is present for Power BI is one of the best. So yeah, this is another feature I wanted to show you. So again, like the theme part, which is go to view, apply whichever theme that you like, and yeah, save your dashboard according to that theme. And now you can drill down, dig deeper into each of these, like whichever like you want to drill down and look into much more detail. The select using this region or keep it all, or just select each one of this, and we'll get the respective information for them. Yeah. So yeah, this is what it is. This is what it is. I'll go back to what it was original. So excellent. Yeah, this is what we did so far. So I want to thank you for staying tuned with me throughout this whole exercise. I bet you are very happy. You have that feeling of success achievement after completing your first successful dashboard. Although at times it felt lengthy, I will say this is one of a very important dashboard you have created. Yeah, so thank you so much for your time and attention, guys. Let's go ahead and save this dashboard that we created with a different name. So let's click, yeah, go to the main like a file, save as. Let's save it as Power BI dash BOARD 1 space accounting. And yeah, Power BI dashboard looks like it's not taking. Oh yeah, the folder. I select this folder, Power BI dashboard 1 accounting. Let's save it in the same folder. Now, very important. Let's go ahead and publish it on your SharePoint. Yeah. So yeah, go back over here to your file option. Then in the last part of the file option, there is something called as publish. Let's click on publish. Yeah, you get only one option that says publish to Power BI. Click on it. It will do its thing, and then you will be getting an option like this where it says publish to Power BI. Select a destination, and by default looks like there are three options over here. That is human resource internal, my workspace, or UVU internal. Let's select my workspace and say select. Yeah, it will Power BI will do its thing. So that's what it is doing, and soon you will be seeing a different page that will be open. Yeah, looks like it is success, and now this is the link where it is shared published online. So click on it, say open Power BI dashboard 1. Awesome, looks like it's opening on my other screen. So let me drag it back to the main screen over here and let it load for a few seconds. Awesome, so you can see it's in the app version. So by doing this, you have uploaded it on your web version, web cloud, so it is accessible with you forever as long as you have your this uve.edu account. On top of it, yeah, how to share this file with me? Either you can just copy this whole thing. Yeah, go to this browser area, select all of it, Control C, and yeah, paste this whole link in the canvas where it is asking you for. Or there should be another page. Yeah, there is this share, something called as share. So click on it, select my name or like email address, and just say send, or it will be activated. I mean, this part will be activated. Copy this link, or the same thing. You can copy this link and post it on your LinkedIn. But yeah, we can talk about it later. Yeah, but this is how you'll be sharing it and submitting it in Canvas to earn the points. Yeah. So with that said, I think even this part is completed. Thank you so much for your time and attention.